and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for being here today. Just doing a quick intro because I forgot to do one in my video. Today I'm going to go through making some baby tops for a friend of mine, and process I went through, the weeding of the materials, talking about the vinyl lobby where I purchased these materials from, and things like this. So sit back, relax, get a drink and enjoy the video.
So this is holographic iron-on vinyl that I have here, and it's in the purple colour. I'm using my Cricut weeder tool to get it all up. This I haven't used before. This was part of a sample pack of paper that I purchased around, last year sometime, and they gave you samples of different iron-on materials, and I hadn't had a chance before to use this particular colour. And generally I've purchased from the vinyl lobby a lot, and I do really like their product. This material though, I found just a tiny bit difficult to get up. You can see here that I'm struggling a little bit with certain letters, and it tried to actually bring up the whole letter itself, and I haven't had that happen before with iron-on. So I try to be really careful down the bottom here in regards to being aware that it does lift up the actual cut image, but I mean, it is pretty smooth, and it was the tiniest bit difficult. I've had worse. Cricut glitter iron-on is by far 10 times worse than what this one was. I have also, you'll see in a second, that I have noticed that the apostrophe has been removed completely between the A and the S. So what I'll do in a few seconds is I'll go back through the actual iron-on that I've pulled off, locate it, and I'm able to stick it back on, which is really beneficial. Here I'm just going to weed out all of the little intricate bits from the word mama and then bestie down the bottom. Basically, this is an SVG that I got from designbundles.com, and I loved it. I think it is just really, really cute. My friend's having a little girl, and this could be for a boy or a girl, it doesn't really matter, but I love the colours, and I thought she's going to be mummy's bestie, so why not do this particular design. It weeds really, really well, this particular iron-on. I mean, I find iron-on does weed really well. It is probably my favourite product to weed, just because it stays to the backing label. Here's where I notice that the apostrophe is missing. It's easy enough to locate. It was easy enough to come off. The Cricut cut it perfectly fine. It probably could have been cut a little bit better. Don't get me started on the cutting job of Cricut. Just weeding the in-between parts now of the word bestie, and as you can see, it does weed really, really well. It's super easy to come off. Yeah, the only problem I had is that at the start some of the letters, they wanted to come off too. That could have been a Cricut problem where it hadn't fully cut through to the right thickness, but that could also be not even a Cricut problem. I could have just picked the wrong settings. This is the colour here. As you can see, it's a bit holographic. It's this beautiful purple colour, and it's just come up really, really nice. The thickness of the SVG was really good. I am doing two tops for my friend. One is the Mama's Bestie and using the holographic purple, and the next one is dedicated to my friend's husband, and I'm using this pink glitter iron-on. And my first experience with glitter iron-on was the Cricut brand, so I don't have good thoughts about it. I know some people do like it. My one might have just been a bit too intricate that I used, but even with this one I struggled just a little bit. This is where I noticed that the cut was too close to the top of the section, so I'm mostly just checking to make sure that I didn't actually cut any of the letters off and that it's still readable, which it is. It's just right on the top of that cut line. This I did have a bit of difficulty with, but once again, I don't think it's anything particular. I think it's more that it's glitter iron-on, and when it's got a chunky texture to it, which this one does, it becomes harder to get off the transfer to paper. I used the glitter iron-on settings to cut it, but I think I might have needed to have gone either a little bit firmer in the cut or possibly just played around with another cut setting. I wouldn't choose to use glitter iron-on cut setting for the vinyl lobby glitter iron-on again, just because I think it needs just a little bit more pressure to be put through. Or if I did use that setting, I would add the more pressure rather than the default pressure, just because it is a bit thicker. It is a lot thicker than that purple iron-on iron-on that I showed you just before. So as you can see, this one was a little bit more difficult to get up. The cut is actually fine. I thought at the beginning that it hadn't fully cut through, but it definitely has. It's just that glitter iron-on is just not my friend. If you guys have any good suggestions for where to get iron-on glitter that doesn't have this kind of problem, that would be great. I was having a lot of difficulty getting the and to pop out. So this one here, I think, was more of a cut issue. It's just that little bit rough to kind of get off, but it will eventually start to pull off nice and easy in just a second. It's just I'm being really cautious because of the issues I had. You can see from that S, it's missing just the top little slither of the S, but everything is definitely still readable. And once I iron it onto the top, you can't even notice it. It looks perfect as it is. You can't even really see the actual cutting marks, which is where I was struggling because I didn't know where a letter started and a letter ended, but we're almost done with the weeding of the glitter. As you can see, it's a really nice sparkly pink, and although I've said that it's coarse, it's not rough, it's just a thicker material. As I said, I've purchased from the Vinyl Lobby quite a bit in previous videos. I've said that I started with a Cricut Joy and also have a Cricut Explorer 3. So I like to find stores that cater for Joy specifically, and these particular iron-ons that I'm using here are cut specifically for the Joy, so they're the right size to put straight onto a mat. And I think some of them are even cut to be a smart material kind of a cut. Don't quote me on that, it's been a while since I've purchased from the Vinyl Lobby, but it's the perfect sample size anyway, and my friend having a little girl is the perfect reason to start using some pink glitter. So the weeding is almost done. We're just finishing with the R, and then the L is also done there, and then I'm just going to weed the little bits in between. Okay, so all done now. And it just says just a dad and his girl. And this is beautiful and sparkly. Looks even better once it's actually ironed on. So I'm going to clean up my desk now and get ready to do the iron process. These are the tops that I purchased. These are just Kmart brand 100% cotton long sleeve bodysuits. They're just in the white colour. So I'm just going to get out my mini press in a second and I will smooth it through. This gives you an idea of what it's going to look like when it is ironed on. So I'm going to heat this up as per the heat guides, and that I believe is about 25 seconds to 30 seconds depending on if I was using the metallic or the glitter, and it was medium heat for both, which made the project nice and easy. So don't make the mistake that I did and iron it straight onto the mat. You need to put something under it when you iron it, so you'll need to get out, I have one of these Cricut mats. To put underneath the actual things that I'm going to iron, and that it just makes it smoother. It's also safer for the surface that you're ironing onto. So just doing a pre-iron one to get all of the wrinkles out, and then secondly just so that I can have some heat to help the stick of the back of the iron on. These are my measuring, not tapes, but measuring things that I have where I've got, it's one for infant, one for toddler, one for adult, I believe it is, and it just helps work out where the center mark is best for your item. This one I didn't want so high up to the neckline. I do believe I move it down just a little bit. Sometimes I find these useful and sometimes I don't. Not the best at kind of guessing where things go to keep it straight. So I try to use these more to keep the image or the words straight, and then I'll hold up the actual item to my eyesight and make sure that everything is in the right position. Now we're all ready for some heat. So because this is a Cricut mini iron, I'm going to just go around in circles to distribute that heat evenly across all of the letters. I did follow the guides, but I tend to just go more with my instinct and not necessarily guess when it is ready or adhered to, but I will generally just go with the feel. This one I think I could have done just a little bit longer, but because I preheated the back of it, we were fine. I then get out my Teflon sheet here just to add a bit more heat to it. The reason I brought this out is because I found that the backing sheet, which is the top, was kind of bubbling up just a little bit. Not too sure why that was, but just for safety reasons and to make sure that I wasn't wrecking my easy press, I just thought I would get that Teflon sheet out. I tried to cool it down using the mat behind it, just drawing out some of that heat. I didn't really let this one cool down. I've just started to pull it off straight away just to see if I needed to do any repressing, and I didn't. It was nice and adhered to. This one pulled just a little bit, and as I said, I possibly could have gone a little bit longer, and or I could have have just waited for it to cool. I'm impatient. I wanted to see what this foiling iron-on looked like, and it is absolutely stunning. It ironed on so well. There's no pulls in it. It's nice and reflective. It's just really, really nice, and it feels really soft and satiny. So this one just says Mama's Bestie, and it's all ready to give to my friend. And then we'll move on to the glitter one. So I'm going to do the same thing with the glitter one. I'm just going to make sure that the heat setting is on medium, and I'm going to do a pre-iron for it. Once again, just to get out all of those little wrinkles and just to give the item a base for the iron-on to stick to. This one I ironed for just a little bit longer just because it is a glitter and it's that little bit thicker, so I wanted to get the heat right through all of the letters. I will bring out the Teflon sheet again and I will go over the image using that as well, just because it's part of my process. Now I will remove the heat pad from underneath, let this cool just a little bit on my cutting mat below, draw out some of that heat, turning my heat press off so I don't forget. And now we're ready to see what this one looks like. This came off really well. This one didn't have any pulls or any issues like that. It just came straight off. None of the glitter that was on the back of the transfer sheet came onto my actual item either, so that was really good to know, because I could see some glitter flecks of where I did the weeding, but they just stayed on the backing sheet. They didn't transfer to the item. And those are the two items that I have. Thanks so much guys for watching. Hope you get some ideas or some tips. Once again, these SVGs are from, I believe, designbundles.com, but you can find them at any SVG store. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay guys, bye.